Hi students, welcome to Maths Point of View. Today we are going to solve each and every theory question from the chapter Natural, Damped and Force Vibration, Resonance. This is part B of the main chapter Sound. Before watching this video, my suggestion is watch the concept video. If you have watched the concept video, then you will understand many words and many concepts here, or else many things are going to confuse you. The meaning, the explanation are given properly in the concept video, so watch it first and then come back to these videos. All the videos whatever I'm telling and all the videos of all the chapters, you will get it in description box. So without wasting any time, we'll start with our first question. Our first question, name one factor on which the frequency of sound emitted due to the vibration in air column depends. So here we have one more sub question, we'll go one by one. See, first understand the question. Frequency emitted due to vibration in air column. This is very much important. They are talking about air column. So here, whenever we talk about frequency and air column, what is the factor we are talking about? It is not just air column, it is length of air column. So assume, I'll give you one example. Okay, assume there is a test tube or any bucket or anything. Assume this much of water is there. Okay, any amount of water is okay. So this much of water is there. See, this is the water length. This is where we are going to see the air column from this point, from the top point till the water surface of the water. It is called as air column. This is how we need to understand. Okay, so this is the air column they are talking about. Okay, now what is this? This is length of air column. What is the factor which is related to frequency emitted due to vibration and air column? The length of air column. So the answer for first question is length of air column. Okay, second one. How does the frequency depends upon the factor stated by you in part A? Okay, listen, this is the factor we stated. How it is related to frequency? We know when it comes to frequency and length of air column, both are inversely proportional. So F is equal to 1 by length of air column. Length of air column. See, you don't have to write it like this in the exam. You have to write it in the form of sentence. Frequency is inversely proportional to length of air column. What do you mean by that? That means if length of air column is more, okay, this length of air column is more, frequency will be less. If this length of air column is less, frequency will be more. Okay, if frequency is more, pitch will be more. This is what we have learnt in concept video, correct? So what is the answer for sub question B? Frequency is inversely proportional to length of air column. That's it. Our next question, state one way of increasing the frequency of a note produced by an air column. Okay, how to increase the frequency when it is related to air column? Just now in the first case we have learnt it this one, right? So if the length of air column is more, frequency will be less because both are inversely proportional. In this case they are asking how to increase the frequency. To increase the frequency, we have to reduce the length of air column. So answer for this question is by reducing the length of air column. That's it. Our next question, how does the frequency of sound given by a stretched string depends upon its length and tension? See, length, just now we spoke, length is nothing but length of, see here we are talking about stretched string. In stretched string, air column will not be there, but length of the wire, the length of the string will be there, correct? So frequency is always inversely proportional to length. Okay, length of a string or length of a wire or length of air column. In all these three cases, frequency is inversely proportional. So here they are talking about stretched string. So we have to talk about the length of the string. So the first one, frequency is inversely proportional. I have to write it in the form of sentence. So it is inversely proportional to length. So what length we are talking about? Length of the string. Next, second case, we have to talk about the tension. We know one formula we have learnt in concept, correct? So frequency is directly proportional to the tension. If the tension is more, okay, if the tension of the wire is more, then frequency will be increased. Frequency is a factor which affects the characteristic. Which characteristic is that? That is pitch. So if frequency increases, pitch also increases. Keep this in mind. This is what we have learned in concept. These are the basics. Okay, now this is our final answer. Fork is set into vibration in air. Name the kind of vibration it executes. Okay, listen, just answering this question is very simple, but you need to understand the concept. See, whenever we talk about any vibration on earth, it is going to stop ultimately, correct? Yeah, assume you take a long scale. Okay, once you tap on one edge, you have to hold the other edge strongly. Okay, one end you have to tap on it, it will start vibrating, correct? So ultimately it is going to come to rest. Whatever the vibrations, ultimately it is going to come to rest. Those are called damped vibration. Keep this in mind, those are called damped vibration. So in this case, a tuning fork is set into vibration in air. Okay, they have made something to vibrate in the air, so ultimately it is going to come to rest, right? So it is an example for damped vibration. Damped means ultimately, okay, the amplitude of the wave will keep on decreasing, so ultimately it is come to zero. So it is an example for damped vibration. That's it. Our next question, state the condition for resonance to occur. See, resonance is a special case of forced vibration. This you should know. Okay, in the concept video, this is what we have learnt. So, before stating this word resonance, we have to talk about forced vibration also. Whenever a force is externally applied, force is there. Okay, assume, what do you mean by externally applied force? Assume there is a pendulum moving, it is already moving. Now you are applying one more force. This is externally applied force. Okay, externally applied force. Because of this, now what happens? It moves in a faster way, correct? So now how to explain this? Whenever externally applied force causes forced vibration, whenever externally applied force causes forced vibration, frequency of the forced vibration is equal to the natural frequency of the vibrating body. So here the two important things is natural frequency of the vibrating body. This, keep this in mind, this is very much important. Frequency, natural frequency, not just the frequency. The word natural has to be there in the sentence. The natural frequency of the vibrating body, it is equal to the frequency of the externally applied force. See, I'm applying an extra force, right? That has one frequency. That frequency should match with the natural frequency of the vibrating body. So whenever these two happens, resonance will occur. This is the condition. Our next question, complete the following sentence. The resonance is a special case of dashed vibration when the frequency of the driving force. See, here the driving force will confuse you, correct? Driving force is nothing but the forced vibration. Keep this in mind. Forced vibration has one more name, that is nothing but driving force. Forced vibration, driving force, both are same. When the frequency of the driving force or forced vibration is dash natural frequency of the driven force. Okay, listen. So here resonance is a special case of dash vibration, forced vibration. Forced vibration when the frequency of the driving force is equal. Okay, equal, then only forced vibration, that is nothing but resonance will occur. Our next question, what do you understand by the natural vibration of a body? Give an example. Say natural vibration has one more name, that is nothing but free vibration. Keep this in mind. The vibration of the body in the absence of external force. So this is called as natural vibrations or free vibrations. So assume, I'll give you one example there because they are asking one example, correct? Assume there is a pendulum, okay, attached to a rigid support. Now the bob of the pendulum, you are just slightly moving. Initially someone has to move, correct? So because of the movement, okay, whenever you apply force to move it, okay, it will start oscillating. First time we helped it, the remaining time it is oscillating by its own, correct? This is nothing but natural vibration. Our next question, what is meant by natural frequency of a vibration of a body? Name one factor on which it depends. It's a very simple question. The frequency of naturally vibrating body. The frequency of naturally vibrating body is called natural frequency. Name one factor. See, this factor is very much important because whatever the factor we talk about frequency, okay, in other concepts, okay, it will be related to the length of the string, it may be related to the length of air column, all those things. But when it comes to natural frequency, the factor is size and shape. Size and shape of the body. Keep this in mind. In only this case, size and shape of the body will come into picture whenever we talk about factors affecting frequency. But this is because natural frequency, in all the frequencies it will be related to length, tension, length of air column, etc, etc. But only when it comes to natural frequency, the factor affects natural frequencies, size and shape of the body. Our next question, state one condition for a body to execute the natural vibration. What is natural vibration? The vibration in the absence of external applied force. So external applied force means air resistance, and whenever you try to stop, all those things are considered as external applied force. So the vibration in the absence, where all these things are possible, only in vacuum, correct? Here if you are not stopping, ultimately the air resistance, okay, assume the pendulum, okay, bob of a pendulum is oscillating. If you are not stopping, obviously it is going to stop by its own because of air resistance. But that because of air resistance it is going to stop. That is nothing but a damped vibration. We are talking about natural vibration. That means, okay, it should keep on oscillating by its own. Okay, it is only possible in vacuum or frictionless medium. So answer for this question is vacuum. Our next question, state two ways of increasing the frequency of vibration of a stretched string. Okay, here we are talking about stretched string. Here what are the two factors? One, tension, correct? More the tension, more will be the frequency. Less the length, more will be the frequency, correct? So if you leave the length, if the length is more, okay, be attached between two clips, okay, if the length is more means it will be saggy. If it is saggy, the frequency will be less, though it has to be very tight. Tight means more tension, okay, tight means less length. Keep this in mind. So you have to tight it. Whenever you tight it, tension will increase and the length will decrease. So what are the two factors? One is by increasing the tension in the string and by decreasing the length of the string. Our next question, what adjustment would you make for tuning a stringed instrument for it to emit a note of a desired frequency? Desired frequency means whatever the pitch or whatever the frequency we want. Okay, how can we achieve that? Very simple, by tightening it. But if you write tightening it, you will not get any marks. So what is the key word? By varying the tension. By varying the tension. So how much tension if you increase? If you increase the tension, frequency will keep on increasing. If you reduce the tension, frequency will reduce. But we don't know our desired frequency, right? So by varying the tension of the strings, this is the answer. Our next question, a blade fixed at one end and is made to vibrate by pressing its other end and then releasing it. State one way in which the frequency of vibration of the blade can be lowered. Can be lowered. We have to decrease the frequency. Okay, these kind of questions, if you understand it, if you can imagine it, then only you can answer these kind of questions. So listen, you take a blade, okay, any blade, okay, any blade, and you're going to fix it. Assume there is a table, there is a table, you are going to fix it, fix the one end, that is what he said, and pressing the other end. So now I'm going to apply force in this direction, downward direction, pressing and releasing it. So I'm going to press it and release my release this blade. So this is the situation. Now we'll go to the question, how to decrease the frequency of this blade. So what do you mean by decreasing the frequency? That means how to reduce the vibration. It keeps on vibrating, right? So we have to reduce the vibration. How to achieve that? Very simple. See this length, okay, this length which is not part of the fixed point, this length has to be more by increasing the length of the blade, by increasing the length of the blade. Okay, now in this case by increasing, so whenever you increase the length of the blade, the vibration will be big, but it will be less, the number of vibrations will be less. What do you mean by number of vibration? That is nothing but frequency. If the number of vibrations are less, frequency is less. Our next question, how does the medium affect the amplitude of a natural vibrations of a body? So first you need to understand what is the amplitude. We'll take an example of a pendulum. Okay, a pendulum which is moving till here, okay, the same pendulum, okay, which is moving till here. See here, compare this one and this one. Here the displacement is more, right? More displacement. This is nothing but amplitude. This is nothing but amplitude. So in this way we need to understand, then only you can answer these kind of questions. Now we'll see how to answer this. How does the medium affect the amplitude of natural vibration of the body? So this object, now pendulum, the bob of a pendulum is moving. How this amplitude will be affected by the surrounding medium? We know whenever we leave a pendulum, oscillating pendulum like that, ultimately it is going to come to rest. That is nothing but damped vibration. So what is causing this to stop ultimately? That is nothing but the resistance offered by the medium. So whenever we talk about the normal medium, air resistance, because of the air resistance, it is going to stop. So they are not talking about particularly. So the resistance of the medium is the answer. So the resistance of the medium will affect the amplitude of the vibrating body and makes it gradually decreases. The amplitude of the vibration gradually decreases because of the resistance of the medium. That's it. Our next question, what are the forced vibration? Give one example to illustrate your answer. Very simple. So the vibrations of a body which takes place under the influence of external periodic force on it. This is nothing but the definition of forced vibration. I know you did not understand it properly. In a very simple way, I'll explain. Assume a bob of a pendulum is oscillating. Already it is oscillating. Now you apply one more force. Because of that, a forced vibration will be there. More vibration will be there. This is nothing but forced vibration. But you cannot explain like that. Okay. Next. So we have to explain with an example. Okay, one will take one more example. Okay, the stem of the tuning fork. Okay, you take an example of this is the stem of the tuning fork. Okay, assume this tuning fork is already vibrating now. Now I am going to keep the stem of the tuning fork on a top of the table. Now vibrations will be more. This is an example for forced vibration. That's it. Our next question, on keeping the stem of the vibrating tuning fork on the surface of a table, a loud sound is heard. Give reason. This is the same example we have taken for the previous question. If you have understood the previous question properly, this is a very simple question. On keeping the stem, see, if you take a this one tuning fork, this will be the stem of the tuning fork. That means this, okay, base. Now whenever the vibrating tuning fork is kept on a table, top of the table, a loud sound is heard because of the forced vibration. That's it. Question number 10 and 11, we are going to skip it. Why? Because these are related to differentiate between two quantities. That's it. So we have learned all these things in depth in the concept video. So these kind of questions, anyhow, there is no logic behind it. There is no twisted question behind it. That's why we are going to skip it. Our next question, why is a loud sound heard at resonance. See, this is very much important and very simple question which we have learnt in the concept video, correct? We know whenever resonance happens, a loud sound is heard. They are asking why? Because whenever the resonance happens, the body vibrates with a larger amplitude. Okay, this word amplitude, larger amplitude or more amplitude, it is very much important. This more amplitude gives more energy to our ears, more energy to our ears. That's why a loud sound is heard. That's it. And whenever a question related to resonance, okay, give reason questions related to resonance, you have to write the condition, correct? If you mess up with the condition, you just write this word. Whenever resonance happens with a larger amplitude or more amplitude, you will definitely get full mark. So any question related to resonance, more amplitude or large amplitude word has to be mentioned, then you will get full marks. Our next question, when a troop crosses a suspension bridge, the soldiers are asked to break their steps. Why? Because we know what are troops. Troops are nothing but a group of army people. They will not walk like us, correct? They will march, correct? The complete people in the troop will march at the same phase. What do you mean by same phase? At the same time, at the same speed, they will land. Their legs will be landing on the road. So whenever these troops are crossing the bridge, this marching, okay, as one frequency, correct? Frequency at what number of times it will land on the road, correct? So this frequency, when this frequency matches with the natural frequency of the bridge, the bridge will vibrate in a larger amplitude. Okay, it will vibrate with a larger amplitude that may collapse the bridge. So that is the reason they ask the troops to break their steps. Our next question, why are the stringed instruments like guitar provided with a hollow sound box? Assume a string instrument, okay, guitar, okay, sitar and all, without hollow box, without the hollow box, you know what happens? They'll produce very weak sound, very low note sound which we cannot hear. So these hollow box are introduced. What happens if we add hollow box to a guitar, sitar and all? What happens? Inside the hollow box we have air, that is nothing but air column. This air column has one frequency. The frequency of the air column, when it becomes equal to the frequency of the vibrating body. So which is the vibrating body in a guitar? It is nothing but the string. The frequency of the air column, when it becomes equal to the frequency of the string, it vibrates with a larger amplitude which produces a loud sound. That's why we have a hollow box in a guitar. Our next question, how do you tune your radio set to a particular station? Name the phenomenon involved in doing so and define it. So listen, they are asking three questions actually. How do you tune it? Name the phenomenon and state that phenomenon. Very simple. Okay, listen. So how do we tune it? By adjusting the knob. By adjusting the knob to a particular frequency. This is how we tune it. So what do you mean by that? So when it comes to radios, we know there are many channels, 98.6 FM, all those things, right? So 98.6 is a frequency. By adjusting the knob to a particular frequency, we are going to tune it. Name the process. So frequency, adjusting to its frequency, right? Making the knob's frequency is equal to the frequency of the station, correct? So that is nothing but resonance. So we have already learned what is resonance, right? That's why we are not stating it here. So how do we tune it? By adjusting the knob to a particular frequency. What is the name of the process or phenomenon? Resonance. The resonance phenomenon we have explained it in one of the questions. Our next question, draw a graph between displacement and time for a body executing the natural vibration. And we have one more question. So first you need to understand, we have to draw the graph between displacement and time. Okay, displacement and time and displacement and distance. There are two different graphs. You have to be very careful about it. Okay, so now here displacement, here time. Okay, when it comes to displacement and time, we are going to find frequency. Keep this in mind. We are going to find what? Frequency, because frequency depends upon time. If they have mentioned displacement and distance graph, we are going to find wavelength. Keep this in mind. Displacement time, we are going to find frequency or time period. Okay, time period. Displacement and distance, we are going to find wavelength. Okay, this displacement is always for amplitude. Okay, amplitude of a wave. Time is for to find the time period or frequency. If it is displacement and distance, always displacement is to find the amplitude. The distance will be for to find the wavelength. That's it. Keep this in mind. Now, so what kind of vibrations we are talking about? Natural. In natural vibration, okay, the amplitude will not decrease. This is nothing but amplitude, right? Amplitude of every wave will be same for natural vibration. Keep this in mind. If they have mentioned damped vibration, okay, damped vibration, then for every wave this amplitude has to reduce. Okay, this amplitude has to reduce like this. Like this. Ultimately it has to come to rest. This is for damped vibration. Now they are asking natural vibration, that is why all the amplitudes of all the waves should be same. Next, diagram is done. Okay, here this is the displacement and this is the time graph. Next, what is the question? Okay, this is A. Okay, what is B? Where can a body execute the natural vibration? We know natural vibration is nothing but without any external force, correct? Without any external force. Now, where that means where there is no friction. Where there is no friction, where is that possible? That is possible in vacuum. That's it. Our next question, the diagram below in figure shows the three ways in which the string of an instrument can vibrate. So this is a vibration of a string, and for our first question, which of the diagram shows the principal note? So here this is concept. Okay, this is what we have learnt in concept video. That can see principal note means one upper, one below part. Okay, see, whenever these kind of diagrams are given, don't get confused. Assume this as a wave. Assume this as a wave. We know when it comes to wave, this is wave, right? So one upper part, one below part, togetherly it is called as wave. Assume this is the upper part and this is the lower part. Okay, this is the compression and this as a rarefaction. Okay, this is the upper part, this one, and the below part is this one. Assume like that, then you will get it as a wave. Next, so here principal note. What do you mean by principal note? This is what we have learnt in concept. Principal note means only one wave because of the string. Because of the string, only one vibration will be there. That is nothing but principal note. So answer for the first question. See, you don't have to write it in sentence. According to the diagram, the principal note is the first one. No, this is enough. Done. This is for this one only. You're going to get full marks. Like this, you have to save time in the exam so that you can use the same time for logical questions. Okay, next, assume if principal note is not mentioned, other names. There are many other names like principal note. This is called as principal note. The first one, only one wave. The second one, two waves. Whenever you see two waves, see, assume this as the upper part and this as the lower part. There are two waves, correct? So two waves are called first subsidiary note. This is called as first subsidiary note. If we have three waves, that would have been to a second subsidiary wave. Anyhow, we have four here, right? This is considered as third subsidiary wave. Okay, principal note, first subsidiary. If we have three waves, that will be second subsidiary, and we have four here, right? This will be third subsidiary. Okay, next, that is not there in the question, just for an example, because we should not always expect the principal note, right? They can ask first subsidiary or second subsidiary also. Next, which vibration has the frequency 4 times that of first one? So what do you mean by frequency? More the number of vibrations is nothing but more number of frequency, correct? So assume all these are for 1 second. For 1 second, it has produced one vibration, that is nothing but frequency is equal to 1. Here 2, that has 4. So they are asking which vibration has the frequency 4 times the first one. This is the first one, right? Compared to this, it has to be 4 times. That is the third one. So answer is third one. Next, which vibration is the longest wavelength? What do you mean by wavelength? The length of one wave. See, the complete point from here to here, this is called wavelength, correct? So which has the longest wavelength? See, if it has more frequency, if it has more frequency, its less wavelength will be less. If it has more frequency, its wavelength will be less. If it see here, it has less frequency, so it has more wavelength. Wavelength is nothing but the length of one wave. So see, this is one complete big wave, right? Which has the biggest wave here out of all the three? This one. So it has more wavelength. That is nothing but the first one. What is the ratio of frequency of the vibration in the diagram 1 and 2? So here and here, ratio of frequency we have to write. What do you mean by ratio? Ratio is nothing but have to write it in the form of his to 1 is to 2, 2 is to 4, all those things. Okay. So here question number D, what is the frequency here? 1. What is the frequency here? 2. And just check whether these two numbers are divisible by any other number. See, 1 and 2 is not divisible by any other number. So this is our final answer. Our next question, explain why strings of different thickness are provided on a stringed instrument. You take an example of guitar. Okay, in guitar there will be 3 to 4 rows of strings, correct? So all the strings will be of different thickness. They are asking why. So reason is very simple. In order to produce different frequencies of sound waves, so if the thickness are same sound, same frequency, same pitch will be coming out, correct? So in order to produce different frequencies, we have the different thickness and how it is related to. See, here they are not asking how frequency is related to thickness of the string. That also you should know. Okay, frequency is inversely proportional to the thickness of the wire or radius of the wire. If thickness is more, frequency will be less. That is the meaning of inversely proportional. That's it. Our next question, what are the damped vibration? How do they differ from free vibration? Give an example of each. Okay, we'll go one by one. First, we'll define what are damped vibration. Damped vibrations are the periodic vibrations of a body of decreasing amplitude in the presence of resistive force. That means whenever we talk about damped vibration, in many questions we have used damped vibration, right? That means because of the resistance offered by the surrounding, the amplitude of the wave will keep on decreasing and come to rest. Example, pendulum. If you leave a pendulum like this, it will start oscillating. Ultimately, its amplitude keeps on decreasing and comes to rest, correct? This is nothing but damped vibration. Our next sub question, how do they differ from free vibrations? Free vibrations are nothing but natural vibrations. See, free vibration is nothing but natural vibration. Both are okay synonyms. Next, how do they differ? Very simple. In damped vibration, amplitude gradually decreases, but in free vibration, amplitude remains same. Next, give one example for each. Very simple. You take an example of pendulum only. Oscillating pendulum in vacuum and oscillating pendulum on earth. Okay, oscillating pendulum in vacuum, there is no friction, correct? There is no friction, there is no resistive force in vacuum, correct? So it will keep on oscillating. Next, when it comes to earth, okay, because of the air friction, it will definitely come to rest. These are the conditions and their examples. Our next question, the diagram in figure shows the displacement and time graph. This is displacement and this is time. So in displacement time graph, what we can find, displacement is for to find the amplitude, time is for to find the time period or frequency. Okay, here we have some questions. Name the kind of vibrations. We can easily say this is damped vibration, correct? Damped vibration. How we can say it is damped vibration? See, there are two types of vibrations, correct? One is natural, one is damped. So here natural means the complete amplitude, the amplitude of the complete wave will remain same. See, the first wave, it is bigger compared to the second one. Bigger means in terms of amplitude, correct? So it is keep on decreasing. Whenever you see a wave, okay, amplitude keeps on decreasing and ultimately come to rest, it is nothing but the damped vibration. Next, give one example of such vibration. Oscillating pendulum on earth. oscillating pendulum on earth, ultimately it is going to stop. Next, on earth. Next, third one, why is the amplitude gradually decreases? Because of resistive force. Next, the last one, what happens to the vibration of a body after some time? The vibration will stop ultimately. We will stop ultimately because it doesn't have any energy. That's it. Our next question, draw a sketch showing the displacement of a body executing damped vibration against time. So we have to draw the diagram. This is displacement and here it will be time. Okay, now damped means ultimately it has to come to rest. First one should have bigger amplitude. See, whatever the height we have, the same height should be in the below part. This is compression. This is called as rarefaction. So it has to come to a rest like this. That's it. So this is enough to get full marks. Our next question, what is meant by resonance? See, first we'll define resonance. Resonance is a special case of forced vibration. It will occur only when the frequency of a forced vibration is equal to the natural frequency of the vibrating body. This is what we have learnt in many questions, correct? So this is the definition of resonance. Now they are asking, describe a simple experiment to illustrate the phenomenon of resonance and explain it. Here, based on the resonance, we have many experiments. You can choose whatever the experiment you want and you can explain it, but keep one thing in mind, explaining the experiment or describing the experiment, these kind of questions will never be in the board exam, but based on the experiment they can create any question. You should know the experiment. So my suggestion is watch in the concept video, we have described all the experiments, so you have to learn all those things. This question we are going to skip. Our next question, figure shows two tuning forks A and B. See, this question also we have learnt in the concept video exactly like whatever they asked. Here they want us to explain the observation. That is what we have learnt in the concept video. There is no hidden or this one tricky question in this one. Just they are asking us to describe the experiment. That's why we are going to skip it, because we have learnt in concept video, and the concept video will be available in the description box. Our next question, in a figure A, B, C, D are four pendulums suspended from the same elastic string X and Y. Okay, so this is X and this is Y. There are four different pendulums from a same elastic support. Okay, next, the length of A and D are equal. The length of A and D are equal. This is very much important. While the length of B is shorter and the pendulum C is longer, the pendulum A is set into vibrations. Now, out of all these things, okay, in this observation, we are going to try to oscillate. Okay, we are going to oscillate the pendulum A and B back and forth, back and forth. This is what we are going to do. See, this experiment also we have learnt, but why we are not skipping? Because the questions, the sub questions are completely different. That is why we are not skipping it. In previous two questions which we have skipped, there they are just asking us to explain the experiment. That's why we have skipped it, because we have learnt in concept video. Here, even though the same question we have learnt, here the questions are different. That's why we are learning this one. Now we'll go for the first question. What is your observation about the vibrations of pendulum D? See, first of all, the length of, the length of A and length of D are same, so their natural frequencies are same. So their natural frequencies are same. Keep this in mind. Next, first that we have to write. The length of A and D are same, so their natural frequencies will also be same. Initially, pendulum A oscillate with more amplitude and pendulum D oscillate with less amplitude. Somehow after some time the oscillation of amplitude of oscillation in both A and D will become equal. Finally, the oscillation of D will be maximum, and the amplitude of oscillation in A will be minimum. So this will keep on repeating. This is the observation we have seen in pendulum D. Next, give reason for your observation in part A. So the pendulum D undergoes resonance because the length of A and D are same. Next, what type of vibrations, okay, can be seen in part pendulum B and C? What type of vibration? Those are nothing but forced vibrations. What vibration? Forced vibrations. Okay, give reason for your answer in part C. See here, the length of B and C, the length of B and C are not same, so their frequencies are different. That's why they'll undergo forced vibration. That's it. Our next question: a vibrating tuning fork held over an air column of a given length, which with its one end closed, produces a loud audible sound. Name the phenomenon responsible for it and explain the observation. See here, there is no different sub questions. They're asking us to explain the experiment, correct? Describe the experiment. This is what we have done. The same experiment we have learnt in concept video. That is why we are going to skip it. Our last question. See, this experiment we did not learn in the concept video. That is why we are going to learn here. Correct. Previous questions are all we have learnt it. That's why we have skipped it. See, and this is a very important logical question. Now listen. In a figure, A, B, C, D represent test tubes, each of height 20 centimeter. All the test tube heights are 20 centimeter, which are filled with water up to heights of 12 centimeter, 14, 16 and 18 centimeter respectively. If vibrating tuning fork is placed over the mouth of test tube D, so vibrating tuning fork is placed here, okay, placed here, a loud sound is heard. A loud sound is heard. Whenever we talk about loud sound, it is nothing but the larger amplitude. When we will get the larger amplitude? When there is a resonance. Keep this in mind. A loud sound is heard means it is because of resonance. So in test tube D, we are going to get the resonance. This is the hint they have given in the question. Now we'll go for question one by one. Okay. Describe the observation in test tube A, B and C when the vibrating tuning fork is placed over the mouth of these test tubes. So we are not going to talk about D, we are going to talk about A, B, C. The same pendulum, okay, we'll make it vibrating and we'll keep it at the mouths of A, B and C. So what is the observation? Very simple. Test tube B, okay, B, loud sound is heard. Sound is heard, okay, but not in A and C. Okay, how I am telling, in B also a loud sound will be heard. Very simple. See, this is based on the resonance, correct? So resonance and length of air column. One hint they have given. What is that hint? In test tube D, we are going to get the resonance, correct? So what is the length of air column here? Length of air column, total length is 20. So out of 20, 18 centimeter is filled with water. What is the length of air column? This gap, what is this gap? That is 2 centimeter, correct? 2 centimeter is the gap. See, 18 centimeter it has filled with water. 2 centimeter is the gap. That is nothing but length of air column is 2 centimeter. So what is the length of air column? 2 centimeter. You have to find a test tube which has 3 times the air column. See, it has 2 centimeter. We have to find a test tube which has 3 times its air column. So here, what is the air column for 16? 4 centimeter, correct? 14, 6 centimeter, and 12, this is 8 centimeter. See, first this 12, 14, 16, 18 is the length of water, okay, water column. 8, 6, 4, 2 is the length of air column, correct? So this one resonance occurs in pendulum, this one test tube D, that is what they have mentioned. What is the air column? 2 centimeter, correct? You have to find a test tube which test tube has 3 times of this air column. Pendulum B, right? So in pendulum B also we will get resonance. So this is the reason you have to write it in the exam. Okay, B is also done. Now the last question. State the principle illustrated by the above experiment. The principle is, when the frequencies of test tubes are equal to the natural frequency of a vibrating body, then resonance will occur. This is the principle. That's it. Now we have learnt the complete each and every question in the theory part of this part B of sound, correct? So after this one, go for part C, learn the concept video, then go for the theory solutions. Like that you have to understand everything. So after watching concept videos, theory solutions and numericals, we are going to solve previous year papers, that too chapter wise. From the chapter sound, only what are the questions they have asked in previous year. Like that you have to learn chapter wise, then only you will understand everything. After that, logical and application questions, that also we are going to solve chapter wise. Finally, MCQs. So all these things will give you the 100% of knowledge, so that you will be ready for the board exam. So once you learn anything, learn it completely. Thank you.